Well, howdy, folks. Pappy here. Welcome back to my little corner of the internet, where we believe a little bit of elbow grease and a whole lot of heart can fix just about anything. It's a beautiful day here in the good OL USA. The kind of day that makes you thankful for your freedoms and the fine folks you get to share them with. Speaking of fine folks, I was just minding my own business, enjoying a cup of coffee blacker than a politician's heart, when I saw my neighbor Earl staring at his yard with a look on his face like he'd just been told. His favorite fishing hole was paved over to make a packing lot for a vegan juice bar. I moseyed on over, toolbox in hand, 'cause you never know when a man might need a Phillips head or a friendly ear. "Earl, my friend," I said, "you look like you just lost a wrestling match with a wet cat. What's got you so down in the dumps?" He pointed a shaky finger up at an old oak tree. Dangling from a branch was what used to be a birdhouse, now looking like it had gone 10 rounds with a heavyweight champ and lost every one. The roof was caved in, one side was splintered, and the whole thing was hanging on by a prayer. "Pappy," he sighed, "even the birds have given up on me. That thing fell apart, just like everything else." I knew it wasn't just about the birdhouse. Earl had just retired last month from the plant. 40 years he'd put in and day out. Now, his days were his own, and the silence was apparently deafening. So, I clapped him on the shoulder. "Earl, my boy, you're looking at this all wrong. That ain't a broken birdhouse. That's an opportunity. And you ain't retired. You've just been promoted. Now, grab me a ladder, and let's get that casualty down from there. We got work to do." He looked at me, a little glimmer of something in his eye, and shuffled off to his garage. I knew right then we weren't just fixing a birdhouse. We were going to do a little work on his perspective, too. I laid the pieces of that little wooden home out on my workbench, a real triage situation. "Now look here, Earl." I started holding up a piece of the splintered wall. "This here is your old life. Worn out, a little beat up, served its purpose well. But you can't just slap some paint on it and call it new. You gotta rebuild. You gotta find the good wood that's left and build something even stronger around it." Earl just grunted, picking at a loose nail. He told me how he woke up every morning and didn't know what to do with himself. Said he felt like a spare part, a tool left out in the rain to rust. His wife, a lovely woman named Carol, kept trying to give him projects, but his heart wasn't in it. He felt like his best days, his most useful days, were behind him. "Hogwash," I said, maybe a little louder than I meant to. "Earl, you listen to me. This ain't the end of the road. This is the start of a whole new highway, a scenic route. You spent 40 years building a life for your family, serving your company, being a rock. Now, you get to build for yourself. This isn't the final chapter. It's what I call the second season. The first season was the setup, the origin story. You did the hard work, the long hours. Now, in this second season, you get to be the hero of your own story, on your own terms. You've got a lifetime of wisdom in that head of yours. More know-how in your little finger than most of these young whippersnappers have in their whole online university degree." I handed him a sanding block. "Start with this," I said gently. "Feel the grain of the wood. This is what's real. All that worrying about what you were is just noise. What matters is what you are. You're a good man, a good neighbor, and a patriot who's earned a little peace. But peace ain't sitting on the porch, waiting to die. Peace is found in purpose. Your purpose just changed, that's all. It's not about punching a clock anymore. Maybe it's about building birdhouses. Maybe it's about teaching your grandson how to cast a line. Maybe it is about finally taking that trip to see Mount Rushmore you and Carol always talked about. Your second season can be whatever you want to build." As we worked, measuring new cuts of wood and hammering fresh nails, we talked. I shared stories about my time after leaving the service. The feeling of being a ship without a rudder for a while, and how my darling wife, the general, helped me find my new command center right here in this garage. Slowly but surely, that broken pile of sticks started to look like a birdhouse again. And as we worked, I saw a change in Earl, too. He started offering suggestions, pointing out a better way to brace the roof, his old engineering mind clicking back into gear. By the time we were painting it a nice patriotic red, white, and blue because every American bird deserves to live in a patriotic house. By golly, Earl was smiling, a real smile, not the tight-lipped one he'd been wearing for weeks. You know, Pappy, he said, wiping a smudge of blue paint from his thumb, I've been so focused on what I lost, I never once thought about what I could build. He looked at me, and his eyes were clear. Thank you, Pappy. The birdhouse looks great, better than before. He paused, looking down at his hands, no longer seeing them as idle, but as capable. But thanks more for the pep talk in the second season. I like that. I think I've got some building to do myself. I just nodded and clapped him on the back. Sometimes a man doesn't need a handout. He just needs a hand. He needs someone to remind him that even after the whistle blows, the game ain't over. It was a good day's work. You know, Earl's story got me thinking. There are probably a whole lot of good folks out there, finding themselves at the end of one thing and the beginning of something new, feeling a little lost, whether it's retirement or the kids moving out or any other big life change. It can feel like you're staring at a broken birdhouse. That's why I've been working on a little project of my own. It's a new podcast I'm putting together with some friends from the One-Eyed Podcast Network. We're calling it Second Season. We're going to be talking to folks from all walks of life about navigating these big transitions, finding new purpose, and making the rest of your life the best of your life. It's for anyone who feels like they're re-entering a new chapter and could use a little encouragement and some good old-fashioned American grit to see them through. So, keep an eye out for Second Season, coming to your ears real soon. Well, that's about all the time we have for today. It was good to have you here. If you enjoyed our little project in our chat, do me a favor. Like this video, share it with a friend who might need to hear it, and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what we get up to next. Until then, keep your tools sharp, your heart true, and always remember to be a good neighbor. Let's get to work.